Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video on my channel HAIRLICIOUSLY. If you guys are new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for videos covering hair loss, hair transplants, and my minoxidil beard journey, which I'm at my 2 weeks right now, and also treatments in the pipelines. So in today's video, I will actually be talking about a very interesting and important topic that I actually have been researching for the past couple months. And as you guys know, the only two currently FDA approved medications for hair loss in the US is minoxidil and finasteride. There's a lot of people that do take finasteride to slow down further hair loss, but there's a lot of people who are also hesitant due to the possible side effects that it comes along with. And as a result, I was on the search for, like I said, for the past few months on looking for some of the best and natural alternatives to treating hair loss without side effects. And I spent just hours and hours just researching scientific studies, articles, forums, looking through different forums to see what would be the best type of natural solution for treating hair loss. As you guys know, I do take finasteride 1 milligram a day, and I did start taking finasteride shortly after I had my first hair transplant in November of 2016. And to date, I have no side effects, unlike a small percentage of people who do use finasteride and experience various side effects, the majority being sexual side effects. But we can all agree that if we can find something organic or natural, something that works similar to what finasteride does in suppressing DHT without all of the side effects that it comes with, there is no doubt that almost everybody would jump ship, and even I would do so if there's a natural way. And that's kind of like what triggered me throughout this whole time to venture on and just really research to see if I can find something that would be beneficial for treating hair loss. During my research, I actually came across this sea botanical. It's a brown seaweed algae called Ecklonia Cava, and this is actually harvested from the coasts of Korea, China, Japan, and it just contains huge benefits that not only helps in combating hair loss, but it also provides abundant amounts of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory responses that contribute to the overall health. There's a lot of doctors and a lot of the doctors' teams who have PhDs, scientists who spent over $30 million on research from in vitro to animal and also to human studies on this particular Ecklonia Cava. So much of the work was done in South Korea, and some of the work was also done at the University of Washington in the US. And as a result, Ecklonia Cava extract has actually been found to be a very impressive and therapeutic agent in a wider range of clinical applications. Now, some of the studies do show that Ecklonia Cava enhances the lengthening of hair shaft and enhances the growth of DERMA papilla cells. And it's also known to release insulin-like growth factors, IGF-1. And more importantly, the specific active ingredient in Ecklonia Cava, which is dicyl, has been shown to decrease 5-alpha reductase activity. So this is actually very good news because we know that finasteride also suppresses DHT. So let's go ahead and dig further and find out exactly what is happening with it. So instead of chemically inhibiting DHT with a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor such as finasteride or dutasteride, Ecklonia Cava is a natural element which modifies within the hair cells and natural hair growth remedies by oxidation reduction. So in turn, this modification downregulates the expression of the enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT. There is an important distinction as there are no side effects associated with a natural process such as Ecklonia Cava. When mice hair follicles were cultured in Ecklonia Cava, 5-alpha reductase was inhibited by over 66%. When applying enzymatic extract, the dicyl, it showed the same level of inhibition of 5-alpha reductase as shown by finasteride. Now, this is pretty crazy, although the study was done on mice. We do know that finasteride is known to cause sexual side effects, as I mentioned earlier, in a small number of users. But the great thing about Ecklonia Cava is that it not only blocks the DHT, but there are actually no sexual side effects associated with it. So this is pretty amazing. Now, in comparison with minoxidil 5%, Ecklonia Cava showed that after 37 days of treatment, there was an increase in the size, depth, and the length of hair follicles. Whereas the hair follicles of the control group were still in the telogen, which is also known as the resting stage. Those in the Ecklonia Cava and the minoxidil treated groups were in the anagen phase. Anagen phase is where the hair is growing. So in comparison between lengthening of hair follicles as a result of treatment with minoxidil and Ecklonia Cava, 1 microgram per milliliter of Ecklonia Cava had a 12.4% average increase in hair follicle length compared to the control group. Now, this is more than the results with 1 microgram per milliliter of minoxidil, which was at 10.9%. So I specifically wanted to focus on the enzymatic extract dictyl, which is the main ingredient used in the 0.5% topical Ecklonia Cava extract solution, which contains more than 35% dictyl. So this was actually used, and it showed increase in hair fiber length, proliferated derma papilla cells, increased anagen phase, and the inhibition of DHT through 5-alpha reductase activity. Now, this is different from the regular Ecklonia Cava extract that you would find on the internet. If you Google it, if you go on Amazon or eBay, you guys can actually find the extract. But this is actually the extraction that was done in dictyl from the Ecklonia Cava, which is a very expensive process. And I did some quick research online, and I found some that actually contained 98% purity of dictyl, which priced at anywhere from $1,000 for 25 milligrams. So 25 milligrams is a tiny amount. I saw another website that was selling it for $1,050 for 50 milligrams. So it is very expensive, and there is a reason why it is expensive, but based on these studies, it does show to be beneficial when it comes to treating hair loss. Now, there's obviously more benefits when it comes to Ecklonia Cava. Ecklonia Cava also crosses a blood-brain barrier and significantly improves blood flow, which is likely another way why Ecklonia Cava extract improves memory and contributes to healthier hair as nutrients are able to flow efficiently throughout the body, including the scalp. Studies also show that Ecklonia Cava extract has powerful neuroprotective effects by scavenging free radicals and suppressing excessive inflammatory reactions. And as you guys all know, we do know that inflammation on the scalp throughout the body plays a big role, especially on the scalp when it comes to hair loss. The good thing is that Ecklonia Cava inhibits something known as MMP-9, and when this happens, it plays a huge part in chronic inflammation. What happens is if there's an increase in MMP-9, it actually causes cell death in the hair follicles itself. Inflammation causes free radicals, and mitigating free radicals not only reduces inflammation, but when cells are under attack from these free radicals inside our body, it causes increased oxidative stress, and it also makes the cells lose their ability to function optimally. Oxidative stress is not only the cause of the result of the inflammation, and it's actually important to actually use powerful antioxidants to target these. Another benefit that Ecklonia Cava has is it has an extremely long half-life, anywhere from 12 to 14 hours, which is a whole lot longer than Finasteride, which only has 4 to 7 hours of half-life, which means that Ecklonia Cava is going to stay in your bloodstream longer, and if you guys do apply it topically twice a day, it's going to cover throughout for the whole day. And this is because Ecklonia Cava extract is a marine-based polyphenol, which is 40% fat soluble and also 60% water soluble, unlike other land-based antioxidants. It also generates nitric oxide. Not only is it the only DHT blocker that boosts libido, it also helps keep the arterial walls relaxed and dilated, increasing blood flow and circulation. As we know that, we do know that hair loss sometimes is caused because of the lack of blood flow that is inhibited into the scalp. So a study was done on Ecklonia Cava versus Viagra, which showed great improvement in orgasmic function and intercourse satisfaction over Viagra. Ecklonia Cava was also studied to have elevated levels of angiotensin II for the duration of the erection process. Now, this is great news because a lot of people do suffer from sexual side effects, including erectile dysfunction. Some of the other causes, would be like watery semen, but Ecklonia Cava doesn't seem to have any of those side effects that comes along with inhibiting DHT from Finasteride. Ecklonia Cava also has potent anti-DGAT activity. DGAT is an enzyme which actually helps enhance the production of adiponectin, which has been shown to promote hair growth. Ecklonia Cava also helps prevent premature wrinkling, which can be induced by diet or ultraviolet radiation. And as you know, we know that minoxidil reduces collagen, which can actually cause wrinkling. So this thing actually does everything opposite of all the negative side effects that it comes with using Finasteride or minoxidil. Ecklonia Cava also increases IGF-1 growth factors, and it also inhibits an enzyme known as MMP-1. We do know that a lack of IGF-1 growth factors also results in hair loss. So this is, this Ecklonia Cava is beneficial in so many different ways. It's a great antioxidant for those who just want to even take it on a daily basis if they don't suffer from any hair loss. But studies do indicate that this is actually very beneficial when it comes to hair loss. And I'm just so excited to actually research further into this plant. This is amazing to see how much benefit that this plant actually has when it comes to not only hair loss, but the health overall. So if you guys are interested, take a look at some of the links below in the description box. It's actually, pretty fascinating. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care.